Hello and welcome to SGPN's Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with the third Underdog Fantasy Pickup Plays for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, send promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com. Get a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. That is pretty good, as they say. That's the best deposit match bonus out there. It is worth the extra, or it's not worth the extra, it's worth getting the extra money. If you're going to play these slips, obviously it's hard to hit these every single day. Yesterday we did go 2-0 in our NHL entry. Some other stuff didn't go our way. We had some players not play in the NBA, so that reduced our exposure a little bit there. But yeah, hitting 2 NHLs is good. We got more NHL today. Also have obviously MLB. We got NBA, NHL. Then I'm doing something new. I'm doing a couple pitcher entries, which is the pitcher combination, yes run, no run, first inning type plays. Got the lotto per usual, and then obviously going to close it out with the Dome Squad. It's the chalkiest Dome Squad I've had all year, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, you're still going to get good returns on a Dome Squad. I mean, if you flex it's 30.33x. If it goes 3 out of 3, and you still get about 5.5 to 1 if you get 2 out of 3 on that one. So we will get to that one later. Today, we'll start off with MLB. I'm going to go with William Contreras, higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. The righty against Cal Freeland at Coors Field. We're going to get good weather up in the Rocky Mountains there for the Colorado Rockies host the Brewers. William Contreras has hit Kyle Freeland well in the past. I think that he's going to continue to hit Kyle Freeland well here. Just for his career against him, he's done very well. He's only had 2 hits, but one's a home run. So it's 2 out of 10. Again, I say he's been very, very good, but I should say he's been very efficient, much more efficient than his brother has been. That is for sure in his matchup for schemes, but more on that game later. William Contreras, higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, with Jorge Polanco higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Framber Valdez. This is one where a guy really has been dominating the matchup. 25 at-bats, 12 hits, 8 singles, 2 doubles, and a home run. And 4 walks against Framber Valdez. So Polanco knows how to hit this guy. Give me Jorge Polanco higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. With William Contreras higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is 3.36x multiplier. Nice one to start off our MLB day. Our MLB entry number 2 is also a little bit enhanced. We're on Bryan Reynolds higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Gray. The Cardinals, Bryan Reynolds sat yesterday. I think he'll be back with a vengeance here for the Buccos as they take on the Cardinals. Again, I think Bryan Reynolds is a very underrated switch hitter, and I think that, again, he's got a good matchup here. At least historically, he's been pretty good against Gray. I'll give you his exact number as well. 6 hits on 19 at-bats, which is a 3.16 batting average, 2 dogs, two doubles, and 2 singles. So I like my chances there. Pairing him with Mike Trout, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Again, Trout against Baz. I like Trout in general. He's never faced Baz before, but using my handy favorite website for MLB props, batters-box.com. Mike Trout does project to have a very good match against Baz. I think the small Steinbrenner field down there in Tampa is going to suit Mike Trout well. And hey, he has been on fire lately. I haven't been noticing Trout is making up for some lost time this season. I don't really love Shane Baz as a pitcher, so give me Mike Trout here. That with Bryan Reynolds higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, Mike Trout higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at 3.4x multiplier. NBA entry number 1, Myles Turner higher than 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists against those those terrible Charlotte Hornets. It's something on it's about the Wizards, the wrong terrible team. The Wizards. The Wizards don't have anyone inside to match up with him. I know he's falling a little bit 3-ball a little bit in this last bit of the season, but I think that he's going to have plenty of opportunities to get double-double. I think that he's going to get high, 9-ish boards here. And then, 17, 18 points, and we get over this thing pretty easily. I just think that, the Wizards are terrible. I think that Myles Turner, man, I'm harking back. I'm longing for the days when his PRA was like 21.5, 22.5 early on in the season, but the books and Underdog specifically caught on to us, and they bounced him up about 2 points permanently. But I think this is a good matchup for him to return to that form and get it done. Then I'm going to take Franz Wagner higher than 25.5 points. One great scorer for the Magic here. 2, they get to face the Hawks. One of the high-scoring games with Hawks games. It's a team they know very well. Obviously, they're regional rivals that play each other quite a bit. Give me Franz Wagner higher than 25.5 points and get a good matchup against the Hawks. That paired with Myles higher than 24.5 points, rebounds, assists, and 3x multiplier. NBA entry number 2, Jaren Jackson Jr. higher than 19.5 points. This is the one where I'm fading the Hornets. No one's got to match up with Jackson. He should be able to score at will in this game. I think he can go 20 plus, no problem with Jaren Jackson Jr. higher than 19.5 points. Then Kawhi Leonard closing out the evening with the Clippers against the Spurs. Spurs obviously terrible. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard have been playing very well lately. His scoring has been up as the season's been closing down. Hopefully, they play full complement of minutes here. 3x multiply with Jaren Jackson higher than 19.5, and Kawhi higher than 21.5 points. NHL entry number 1. You see the Penguin shirt. We're big on Penguins today. Sidney Crosby higher than 0.5 goals against Blackhawks. We've got a revenge game for the Penguins. They just lost at Chicago in their last game. Now they're back home. They get to exercise those demons and beat up on a team that's even worse than them. So let's go, Mr. Sidney Crosby. Everyone's talking about your man, Alex Ovechkin. But guess what? Sidney Crosby's also one of the greatest of all time. Came out right when he did. So let's go, Sidney. And then we're going to pair that with Nico Hischier of the Devils, higher than 0.5 assists as they host the Bruins. Bruins are just got off right now. Lots of goals are going to be available. I think he's going to get a helper. That is a 4.21x multiplier. All right, NHL entry number 2. We're going to fade Elvis Merzlikins for the millionth time. Elvis Merzlikins, goalie for the Blue Jackets, just not really playing all that great these days. He's allowed a ton of goals. I'm picking higher than 2.5 goals allowed for Mr. Merzlikins. Again, I can give you some of his recent performances if that helps you a little bit here. So his last game, he only allowed 1 goal. Good for him against Ottawa. He only allowed 1 goal, but he came in that he didn't start that game. He just came out off the bench. He was set of seated in that game. He came in and gave 1 goal. Then he has to face them again. But his previous starts, 5 goals allowed, 7 goals allowed, 4 goals allowed, 6 goals allowed, 3 goals allowed, 2 goals or 5 goals allowed. So it's just not really good for Mr. Merzlikins. And Ottawa just scored 1 on him when he came in and relieved duty the other day. So Merzlikins higher than 2.5 goals allowed. And Nick Suzuki higher than 0.5 assists for the Montreal Canadiens in a big game against Red Wings. Huge for their playoff implications if they get this win. Red Wings kind of need it, but I don't think need and reality are the same thing. Give me Nick Suzuki higher than 0.5 assists with Elvis Merzlikins higher than 2.5 goals against 2.7x multiplier. All right, new type of entry here. These are all yet first run pitcher picks, the pitcher combos, MLB combos on your underdog pick. Dylan Cease plus Jeffrey Springs, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Good weather down there. I think Jeffrey Springs is the one who's going to spring a leak here against these hot hitters for the Padres. Then I'm taking Freddie Peralta and Kyle Freeland lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Kind of scary there at Coors Field with decent weather. But the starting pitchers for the Rockies and Freeland as well have started out these games very, very well. Freddie Peralta can give you a good inning as well. So let's go lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed between Peralta and Freeland. That with season Springs higher than 0.5 first inning runs is 3.12x multiplier. Pitchers number 2, S. Smith, Ben Lively for the Sox against the White Sox, I should say, against the Guardians, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Just 2 kind of tepid offenses, in my opinion, and bad weather in Cleveland. Then I'm taking Jake Wrobleski and Lord of the Nationals. So Wrobleski for the Dodgers, Lord of the Nationals, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Lord, welcome to the majors, buddy. You get to go against the Dodgers lineup. That's never fun. And Wrobleski, not a guy that I love that much on my beloved Dodgers. 2.73x for that. Higher in the Dodgers Nationals game, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed, and then lower in the White Sox Guardians. Lotto entry number 1, Nick Claxton, higher than 14.5 points. Tell me why he cannot get 15 points against against the Pelicans at home. Yeah, you can. He should dominate these boys. Give me higher than 14.5 for Nick Claxton points. Rickard Rakell of the Penguins, higher than 0.5 goals. Good chance to score. Good score for the Penguins. Underrated score for the Penguins against the Blackhawks in their own home building. In Pittsburgh there, and then Jack Eichel higher than 0.5 goals on the road against the Asts team leader. He's going against Blackwood here. Obviously, the goaltending defense has been good for the Avalanche, but I am not expecting there to be a shutout here. So I do think there's going to be some goals for the Golden Knights. I think Eichel is going to get 19.82x flex or 19.28x if you straight up play it. If you flex at 9.91x or 2.31x flex. All right, down squad number one, as I said, Chucky. Jordan Alvarez, higher than 0.5 home runs. He checks a lot of boxes here. Good matchup, good experience hitting long balls against Castillo. With Contreras, higher than 0.5 home runs against Freeland. Again, it's a really plus matchup in the batter's box, the website that I use. And also, he's hit down off of Freeland before. Mike Trout, I like his matchup for Shane Baz, higher than 0.5 home runs. 60.66x, 4K flex it, 30.33x/6.31x flex. Good luck on your picks. Let's make some money.